This is big breaking emergency news. States are now asking their residents to please house migrants that are arriving in their communities and their state because the housing crisis and situation is so bad and they need help. The systems are being overwhelmed. We also have sheriffs in Ohio warning that this is coming there soon. So let's get into all the details here. Really quick, guys, please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, every day, keeping you guys updated on this big news, and it just helps to get these warnings out. I appreciate that. So this is the warning that's going out in Massachusetts right now, all right? Their immigration organization in Massachusetts is now warning that they need more people to volunteer. This is the Massachusetts Immigrant and Refugee Advocacy Coalition. And they put out this video and they're asking people to house migrants. And we have this sheriff from Portage County. He's saying it's coming there next. This is right outside of Cleveland. So I want you guys to listen to this really quick and let me know what you think. And then I'll tell you what the sheriff said too.
And disappointing to Maroni, but there are ways that we can help and support the new arrival families. Have you ever considered hosting a family in your home? Well, that you should consider opening your house to a family or an individual person because there are so many needs inside these families. The Brazilians Worker Center have more information on that.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you should.
Maybe I'll check that out.
Because I heard you talking about those families. I've been hosting a little bit, and I have to say, it's been easier than I expected. The families really just need a safe place to stay, and it's been really fun to have little kids in my house.
Maybe I might check that out.
There's also the Landlord Incentive program that Boston offers, which supports landlords who rent to Boston families that are moving out of homelessness. And it also has direct support for both the tenant and the landlord.
Okay, so that was a video that was just posted by MIRA, this Massachusetts Immigrant and Refugee Organization. That is a quasi-government organization. They just put out this video and they're telling people there's these landlord grants, okay? There's all these programs that pay for housing. And they're also asking people to house people in their own homes, okay? So let me know what you guys think of that. The situation is getting bad there. Okay, this is actually happening in multiple states. New York City has a similar program as well. And Denver is on the heels of a very similar program too. They pay landlords to house migrants that they don't have housing for. All right, listen to what the sheriff is saying in Portage County, Ohio too. All right, he is warning. This is the Portage County Sheriff, Bruce Jakowski. And he is telling people that this migrant housing situation is coming there too. This is right outside of Akron, Ohio, and Cleveland. And he's telling people that, hey, you should start writing down names. Let's start taking names and writing them down for people that want to house people because the situation is getting so bad. Listen to what he's saying. He said, quote, "When people ask me what's going to happen if Kamala wins," he said, "I say write down all the addresses of people who have signs in their yard for her." This is what he's saying. He said, quote, "So when people need a place to live, we already have the addresses of the new families who supported their arrivals," the post continued. All right, he posted this on Facebook the last couple days, and he's saying, hey, the situation, this is what it's going to come to here. And I think he was kind of joking a little bit, all right? But he's saying this is coming here. These people are going to have somewhere to go and live if they keep coming to these cities, and there's nowhere else to go. You can't build 20,000 homes in a town of 58,000. You can't build 20,000 homes overnight. It's impossible. It's impossible. There's not enough people there. There's not enough workers. There's not enough contractors, builders. There's none of it, right? The infrastructure is not there to support this many people. And he's saying it's happening in Portage County, right outside of Akron, Ohio, too. He's saying the same things happening there. And he is warning that things could get a lot worse if the situation continues for 4 more years. All right, he's been the sheriff there since 2021, and he served in Ohio law enforcement for nearly 3 decades. Right, so this guy has seen it. He knows what's going on, and he's warning it's coming to Ohio too. There actually already is a newcomer program in Ohio. Okay, it's called the Good Neighbor Training. Okay, and the organization is called Chris Ohio. That's the organization, and they actually have a very similar program where families and people in Ohio can sponsor new arrivals and new migrants and give them homes, give them housing, give them resources, and they essentially sign up to take care of them for 3 to 6 months, maybe a year when they first arrive, and they help them with all the things they need to get settled in, right? This program exists in Ohio too. It's called Chris Ohio, CRIS Ohio, and it's the Community Refugee and Immigration Services of Ohio, right? It's a very similar program. They aren't as open, right? They're not actively asking people to do this, making videos about it and things like this, but they do have similar programs that are available, and in the future we could see these programs advertised a lot more in places like Ohio. They're already advertising them in New York City. In Denver, they sent out letters a few months ago asking landlords, saying, hey, we know you have a vacant home. Okay, because in Denver, you have to have a landlord license. You have to have a rental license to be a landlord and rent out houses. And so they know everyone that has a rental home, and they know if it's under lease or anything like that. And they sent out letters to everyone that had a vacant home saying, hey, you need to house people and we will pay you good, or we're going to revoke your rental license. This rental license will not be available. That's essentially what they were threatening people with just a few months ago in Denver, Colorado, right? So this crisis is hitting all over the country. Okay, this is a major issue. There's only so many rooms and homes and apartments and buildings. There's only so many. And they're building new ones, right? They're building new ones in Springfield right now. New York City just built a apartment building, a condo building that holds thousands of people. It has thousands of rooms in it. And New York City alone has over 60,000 migrants that are living in their shelter systems right now. Over 60,000 people. There's over 200,000 people that have arrived just in the past 2 years. But there are over 60,000 people too just living in the shelter systems in New York City. And a lot of them are hotels. Okay, these hotels, these landlords, they're making a killing. They're making a ton of money. Okay, in places like Springfield, they are actually, this is what the residents are reporting. All right, I played a whole video on it. Sorry, it's hot out here. I'm out in the car. I couldn't get back to the house to get the video, so I'm just doing it in the car out here for you guys out in the woods. And I don't want to have the AC on or anything blasting for you guys, ruining the sound. All right, and really quick, just hit it up for me down there to help get these worms out. I appreciate that, guys. It really helps. But in Springfield, right, even the mayor said this too. He was even saying this, Rob Brew. I played a whole video. He's saying Americans are being kicked out. He's saying there's these companies buying up all the properties. They're kicking Americans out, and then they're charging the migrants moving in. They're charging them $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 because they have 20 people living in a home, all paying $200 a month so they can afford it. And they're getting these housing vouchers. And there's 10 of them all getting housing vouchers. They can pay more, right? And they're putting a ton of people in these homes, and the landlords are jacking up prices too. It's putting a strain on the homes there already. Okay, this is already a housing crisis. People can't move. People can't afford homes. People can't buy new homes there, right? This is a major issue that's happening. And now they're asking people to house people in their homes they already have, right? And something too that I think is just interesting is that where were these programs for all the homeless people in the US already? Okay? It's one thing, if you really want to do this, okay, I guess you can do this. You really want to do this? Let me know down below what you think, if you would do this or not. If you really want to do this. But shouldn't there be these programs and these incentives and things like this too for American citizens and for veterans and for families with children in the US that are already here and are already citizens? Shouldn't these programs be available, right, for them? And we have all these resources, all this money, all this stuff's being thrown at this. And all these years, we've had millions of homeless people on the streets, homeless families, homeless children in the US, right? And now we have housing for all these people. All of a sudden the government found all this housing, found all these programs. They're bending over backwards. But the same things, it doesn't seem like, maybe I'm wrong here, it doesn't seem like the same things were done for veterans. Okay, my dad was a disabled veteran, 100% disability, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare dealing with the VA, trying to get his benefits, trying to get things cleared. It was a nightmare for him. Okay, he passed away over a decade ago. And he lived in a tiny little studio apartment, right? He didn't have a lot. He had Social Security. He was living off Social Security and VA disability. And it was hard for him. He was struggling for him. And that was 10 years ago, right? It's even worse now with inflation, prices, all this pressure from people moving in too, okay? It's competition. Everything's competition, right? If there is only so many homes and 20,000 more people are all of a sudden competing for these homes, this normally never happens. Nobody's moving to Springfield, 20,000 people. Like normally in the US, there's never a big migration there. There's never this pressure, but now there's this pressure and it's creating scarcity. It's creating price increases. It's supply and demand. Okay, this happens everywhere. All these cities, all across the US, there's a problem with that too. Interest rates as well. That's a major issue too. And inflation. Thankfully, they just dropped interest rates 0.5%, 50 base points just today. So hopefully that is a good sign. We'll see. Who knows? It could have the opposite effect these days. Nobody knows what's going on. But hopefully that's a good sign. We will see, at least for home prices, housing prices, things like that. So let me know what you guys think down below about this situation, right? I hope you guys are staying safe, staying prepared. Let people know what you're seeing too, right? Don't be silent. Just spread the word, right? Make a video. If you see something in your town, make a video, post it on X, post it on YouTube. Let people know what you're seeing, all right? So thank you guys. I hope you have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.